Hello everyone, welcome to the lesson. My name is Michelle. Today, let's pimp your vocabulary. Pimp your vocabulary? What can that mean? Have you ever heard this word pimp before? So pimp means to accessorize yourself with fashionable jewelry and wear a lot of accessories. So what we are trying to do in this lesson is to add up to your vocabulary some new and interesting words that you'll hear the youth around you using. So let's start.
Subscribe and press the bell icon to receive notifications. Don't miss any new lessons.
Let's look at the first word here, generation gap. You'll obviously hear the youth around you using this word very often. But before that, who can you really call youth? So youth are the people or the kids downtown walking around, hanging around. Or maybe if you're getting nostalgic and you want to talk about your carefree days, then you can say, when I was a young man or when I was a youth, I used to blah, 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 blah. But for now, let's start with the first one, generation gap. So gap means distance. Distance between two generations. So that could be the distance between the younger generation and the adults. What are the possible reasons for that? So maybe your parents have had different experiences and you've had different experiences. So you might have some differences in terms of your attitude. And that's exactly what we call generation gap between younger and older generation. Okay, so now let's look at the second one, grow up. Well, if you think that generation gap is one reason you should love your parents any less, then you must grow up. That means you should stop acting childish. You know, I have a colleague at work. He's such a prankster. I mean, he always pranks the people at work with random calls and stupid activities. And all that he always gets to hear is, grow up, stop acting so childish. Someone who acts childish. Sorry about that. So grow up could be a response to someone who acts childish. There's another way that you can use grow up. You could say that I grew up in Scotland or I grew up in Hawaii, which means that you got older, as in from an infant to an adult in Hawaii or any other location where you did. So this means to grow older or to grow mature. I know, older sounds a bit too old. All right, you know what? If you're a bit lost on the art of modern conversation, then I suggest you stay tuned for some more words, mostly slang words, that you'll often hear the youth using. So the first one here, frosted. What could this really mean? So frost is basically snow and ice collecting all together is what frost is. But here, since it's a slang word, it does not mean exactly what it means literally. So frosted means someone who wears a lot of jewelry or, stays up way too accessorized for maybe your office or at school. If you know a teacher who just wears too much jewelry, then probably she's too frosted. Someone who wears too much jewelry. You know, possibly like a different ring for each finger. That's too frosted. Let's look at the next one. Flossing. Of course, that's a common term, a common dental term. Do you floss your teeth? Do you floss your gums? You might be doing that. You floss your gums to clean them. But It does not mean that here. So if you know someone who always posts pictures on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and everywhere, if they've got a new car and they want to brag about it and show it off, then they are flossing. This means to show off. I hope you don't end up telling them that you're flossing too much. If they're a close friend, you can say that, but then if they're an acquaintance, this wouldn't be a very sweet thing to say. So with that, we move on to the next one. Pre-gaming. Pre means something that you do before an event, but here we are talking about gaming. So do you think you need any preparation for gaming? I don't think so. I don't need any. But you need preparation for night outs. Yes, what are the possible preparations that you do for night outs? I'm sure you all would have the same answer. Possibly drinking together is what you do before a night out. So pre-gaming is something, it means to drink together before you go for a night out. To drink together. With your friends. For the big game that night. Okay, let's look at the next one. Hench. Can you possibly guess where do you find henchmen? Henchmen? Yeah, exactly. Who do you think they are? Are they drug addicts? Or maybe criminals? Yeah, the word is a bit rude, but that's not what it means. So hench means a young, fit, healthy, and probably built-up man with a lot of muscles. So where would you find them? Mostly in the gym, yeah. Built-up men. You know what's the funniest thing that I've ever seen? To see a young henchman in the park walking a really tiny dog. It's so funny. Believe me on that. Okay, let's look at the next one. Grimy. Well, the word grimy sounds really grimy, which means something that is dull, literally. But in slang word, it does not mean the same thing. Grimy means, I'll write it for you here. Something that is better than sliced economy bread. What? What do these words even mean? That's so confusing. Something that is better than sliced economy bread. Well, sliced economy bread is considered to be a, people love it. They relish it when it was, started long time back, probably a century ago. But now it means something that is often considered great in public opinion, but in reality, it's just okay. It's not that needed, or it's not, you don't have to create all the fuss about it. So for me, I think the smartwatches, they are just, people think it's grimy, but for me, it's just an expensive gadget. Or you could say that people think it's the best thing since sliced economy bread, but for me, it's just an expensive gadget. Maybe for you it is, but then we could have different opinions, isn't it? Well, let's move to the next one. McP. Okay, so does it ever happen that you're going to a particular location and you really want to rush to the toilet and you're driving, and on the driveway you're just looking right, left, you just get to see a McDonald's. You stop by. For what? For peeing. That means to use the toilet. And when you use the toilet at McDonald's for not eating a burger, it's called McPee. Yeah. Using a toilet at a restaurant. Oopsie. We all use a toilet at a restaurant, but this is using only a toilet at the restaurant. only. Yes, that's very important. So if somebody someday asks you, excuse me, do you know where's the McP? And you're like, I hope you do not direct them to the police station. Please tell them that there's a cafe nearby where you can go and McP, go and use the toilets. Okay, let's look at the next one. Peng. The word is so exciting. Peng. So you know what? Last night I ate some peng food at the restaurant. Peng means something that is attractive or delicious. If you're talking about a girl, it's attractive, but if you're talking about the food, it's delicious. Something that is attractive or delicious. So peng food or peng girl for some of you. Okay, snap. Have you ever heard this word before? Snap. Snap can mean a sound when something breaks. I can't break this marker for you, so no chance at that. But then this is also snapping your fingers or clicking your fingers. But that's not what it means here. I'm going to write it for you what it means. Snap means to, the lunch that you take at work. So mostly when you go to work, you take a meal or a lunchbox along with you. And if any of your friend has lost their snap, then you don't start doing this. You offer them your lunch. Yes. So you could say lost a snap or lost their snap. That's what it means. Wow, this seemed a lot of fun to me. I hope it was fun for you as well. And my last advice to you would be that please try to bridge the generation gap with your parents. There is no reason that you should love them any lesser. Love them more, care for them more, and you'll surely bridge the generation gap. Have a great time ahead. Go love your parents, hug them. They are the best. Bye-bye. Take care.